Everybody, Steve Colescott here for Elite FTS. We're here with Ryan Minney at Primal Training Studio in Chillicothe, Ohio. Many of you may remember Ryan. He helped us out with So You Think You Can Deadlift. Good to have you here, Ryan.
Thanks, Steve.
Good to have us here in your studio. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to where you are now.
My background is, I've always been athletic my entire life. I've mostly been involved in racing, track, bikes, snowboards, that kind of stuff. And went on to college. After pursuing a degree in computer science, I decided that it wasn't really what I wanted to do. Then I got into sports science with an emphasis in physical education, and built from there. And so my degree that I use the most is obviously my sports science and education degree. And that built out of, when I was in college, I raced downhill mountain bikes professionally. And built from there, and I got out of school, and I was getting older, and you just can't hit the ground like you used to in racing. Anyone who's ever raced knows that it just gets old after a while. So to get into something else, I wasn't ready to quit competing. So I was looking at master's levels track and field, and I was looking at different forms of weightlifting. And just with training and what I was interested in, weightlifting kind of worked out for me, and it was just all going from there. So then I started weightlifting, and I started training, and I started getting into it. So that's how I ended up where I am today.
Okay, and tell us about the evolution of Primal's Training Studio here.
We have had a really, we've been around since about 2008. I think we've been around for about 6 years. Basically, it started out, I moved here from Moscow, Idaho, and I had no facility. I started out in a small private fitness club, and that really wasn't working out for what we were doing. We were just we were square peg in a round hole. It's not that there was anything wrong with the fitness club, just what we were doing wasn't fitting into it, and it was rubbing some things the wrong way, so it was best to leave. So out of that, I basically went to my backyard in people's garages. I started training. I had a barbell sitting on a concrete pad in my backyard that I was training myself with. And then my in-laws had a farm, and I had a barn there, but I was too far out of town for people to want to come. Started training people in people's garages, and that started picking up. And then through training people in garages and in my backyard and out at the barn and stuff like that, my equipment started getting pretty mobile. So then I started offering a general fitness kettlebell class that I did down in the park, and it was just meet down in the park, and then people would pay me that way. And it was getting November, and it was starting to get cold out, and everyone wanted to go inside. So I had enough for rent out of that. So then I rented another building that was about 2 or 3 blocks from here, and we were in there for about, I'd say about a year. And then we got to the point that we really started taking off as a weightlifting facility, and it was that we had to switch. The place we're in had a basement underneath us. Best story on that was we were deadlifting one day, and my wife was about a block away getting a cup of coffee, and she could hear the bar hitting the floor. Literally a block away on the corner, she came in, so we outgrew there, and then I found this place. I lucked into this place. It was a good find for us, and we've been here ever since then. And now that we've got a location that can really support lifting heavy and what we want to do, it's just been growing and growing from there.
Okay, the thing I like most about your club is there's not a lot of equipment. You've got really good equipment here, Elite FTS equipment. That sounds like a blatant plug, but you've chosen really well. Tell us a little bit about what you put in as your basics.
What I put in we are primarily, we're not really. I hate it because Elite FTS. I love powerlifting. I don't want anyone to think that I think everything is great, but we are primarily a strongman and a weightlifting facility. So our basic that we really put in was half rack. And the reason I wanted a half rack was when I was in Idaho, the Vandal Athletic Center, all we had was half racks, and I kind of got used to it. And you just have more mobility, more options. But the problem was with the level that we want to lift at and level that we do lift at, most half racks couldn't handle the amount of weight that we want to lift. So basically, Elite FTS had about the best half rack on this side of the world that I could find that was made in this hemisphere. So we use the half rack continuously. We use it all the time. And so that's all our squatting, all of our pressing. All of that is coming out of the half rack. And then secondly, we back up with the bench. I have a couple guys who bench in here, but most of our bench pressing is done as accessory lifting to our pressing. Kind of like back in the 50s and 60s when they used to, they would either lay on, like where the floor press evolved from, or they would lay on cinder blocks and stuff like that with a board on them. So the bench evolved out of the accessory work for that. And I figured if I'm going to buy one, I might as well get one that we can do work. Because I hate it when people come in here and they want to do something. And I'm like, well, we can't do that. So I try to get everything that pretty much the sky's the limit. Okay. But so out of that, then we have just basically a standard Olympic weightlifting platform. Okay. And then out of that, and then we do a lot of our strongman, and then some of more stuff out of that.
Okay, and you have a wide variety of bars, many of which I recognize. Tell me some of the ones you have. I
have all the bars that they sell. I'm a huge fan of rotating lifts. Working with athletes and being an athlete myself, the number one thing, and the fitness people even more, because at least athletes, they're very goal and point specific, and they're driven in that. So what you get, athletes, they just want things. Your general fitness and your general strength clients who just want to get stronger get bored easily. So one thing, the nice thing is all the bars, they load your body up differently. So we can rotate through them and we'll keep changing them. And so that's why I like it. And it kind of, from what I see, it keeps the injury down because we're always pushing heavy weights, but we're pushing heavy weights with different load emphasis. So to me, I think it keeps our backs healthy and it keeps a more well-rounded strength going. So we have Texas squat bar, we got the yoke bar, we have spider camber bar, we have the axle bars, we have the neutral grip pressing bars, and then we complement all of that with bands, and then we're top banding and bottom banding, and typically we're using our bands for our max. But yeah, so those are, if there's a bar out there, we have it.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the type of client you have and who you're working with here.
Typically what we train here is we train beginners to intermediates. One of the things I really excel at with my physical education background is I have an education from K through 12. And if you've ever been around 31st graders at the same time, it's like rounding up cats. So if you can work with that and you can organize it, you can pretty much adult to no problem. So one thing we really excel at is whether it's someone who maybe picked up like a Muscle and Fitness magazine or Flex magazine or something like that and was like, I want to do this. Or maybe someone saw it on TV, on YouTube, or they found your website, but they don't really know where to start. A lot of just everything. I hate saying couch because some people, they do lots of other stuff. But people who don't really know how to start, so we start there and we start from a really basic, never done it before, and then we'll build them up into really highly physical cultured weightlifters. Or we'll get, the other thing is the intermediate. We get a lot of people who start and they get on the internet and they have a lot of self-drive and they build up through that, but they get to a point where they start hitting a wall and either the gains stop coming, so their numbers stop going up, or they just find they're randomly hurt all the time, they have no idea why. And so then the intermediate people come in that they just need that extra, they need that knowledge on how to keep going to get up into the higher levels of the sport. And then within all of that, we have more people just want to be strong, looking to stay in shape than really the athletic population, which is what I really like. I think more people, I'm a big fan of more people should lift weights.
Okay. You're involved in Strongman and you do some promotion. Tell us a little bit about what you have coming up with North American Strongman.
Yeah, I am the North American Strongman Ohio State Chair, and I have a meet coming up. We do it every year. It's called Frankfurt Strongest Man. It's in Frankfurt, Ohio at the International Sunflower Festival. And it's every Labor Day weekend. The day kind of moves around. We try to have it on Sunday just because everyone can get there better that way. But it's always every Labor Day weekend. And this year the events that we're doing is we're doing a max effort log press, we're doing a max reps axle deadlift, we're doing a tire flip for time, we're doing a sled duck walk medley, and I think that's, and then we'll Atlas stones. We always do Atlas stones. I love Atlas stones. And then we're going to do Atlas stones for reps over bar.
Okay. So if you are anywhere near Chillicothe, I definitely recommend you stop in, you visit Ryan, check out the place, and he'll show you a few things. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.